gonna throw you with my best girlfriend. You messed up, so now you're my ex.
So today I'm going to talk to you about love, situationships, relationships, and breakups. I believe that once you love someone, they have a piece of your heart forever, and no matter what the circumstances, you will always have that love and care for them. But I think a lot of the times we're so scared of losing that love that we hold on to that little bit of love that there is left in relationships, and start to accept lesser and lesser amounts of love from people that we love wholeheartedly, because we just don't want to let go of that love. We start to accept their crumbs of love and accept their crumbs of care. We start to become satisfied with the crumbs of love that they're giving us, in hopes that maybe they'll love us the same again, just because we don't want to let go and lose that sense of love and that sense of being in a relationship with someone. And then that's when a situationship comes about, because it's like we're not together, but we're together. It's like when you have a momentary breakup, like when you break up with someone but the love is still there and neither of you guys want to let go, one person is usually giving their whole heart and being absolutely committed to this person, while the other person is kind of like, I just don't want to cut off that love, because they themselves want that bit of the love too. And then you end up in this situation where one person is giving their whole heart and the other person likes to receive the love but doesn't really like to give the love back. And then it's little things like, people say, well, why can't you have a relationship with no labels? It's because if we're talking, if we're dealing, and you're with someone else, like, I can't be mad, you know? And it's not to say that a label will stop someone from not loving you and from hurting you, but it's more of a blame thing. And if you're insecure, it makes it even worse, because a lot of the time we just get comfortable. We get so comfortable with one person, whether it be you not wanting to leave them because you gave them your virginity, whether it be you not wanting to leave them because you guys just spent so much time together. You're comfortable with that person and you don't want to let go because, one, you're scared that you won't find the love again, or two, you just don't feel like going through that process of finding that love and finding that person to love. And so you start to accept the crumbs, you expect the little bits, because you just really don't want to go through having to find someone else to love. But by doing this, you're disrespecting yourself. You're losing love for yourself by accepting somebody else's crumbs, expecting their little pieces of love that they give you. And I feel like a lot of the time that other person will give you glimpses of how incredible you guys once were, just so that you don't let go. And as soon as you begin to let go, they'll throw that, you're the greatest person on the planet. They'll give you some more love. They'll give you their wholehearted love until they feel like you're comfortable and you're set and you're good. And then they go back to giving you the crumbs. And that's why, well, unhealthy relationships go through these seasons of being okay and then not being okay. And this happens in relationships and in situationships. Going back to your ex can be extremely detrimental. I'm not saying don't take someone back, but chances are, if you take someone back, the relationship isn't going to work. The truth is, partner cheated on you, they disrespect you, they disrespected you, or if something's going on, if they're disregarding the relationship all the time, that's a blatant display of disrespect. If you set certain boundaries and they cross those boundaries, if there's certain things you expect of them and they're not doing it, then it's a blatant show of respect, and chances are they're going to continue to disrespect you once you take them back. Also, if you're in a situationship with someone that didn't respect you while you were in a relationship, then they're not going to respect you in a situationship, because now they're not accountable to anything. It's like you're going to let them back into your lives without a label, and you think things are going to go better because you know they don't feel the pressure of the label, but that's not true. If they were disrespecting you when you were on a pedestal, of course they're not going to respect you when you're not on the pedestal. People also think that once time passes, problems dissipate, and that's also not true. When you guys break up for something, the problem is still there, and you could talk about it, but if talking about it but not agreeing on certain things aren't gonna go away. And I feel like I was doing that a lot, and a lot of people do that a lot, where they kind of put things on a back burner. Yeah, he does this, but when he doesn't, it's fine. Yeah, she does that, but when she doesn't, everything is great. You could talk about the problem all you want though, but if you're never going to talk about the problem and solve the problem will still be there. And so you guys break up for some time and just put the problem in the back of your head, but the problem will still arise. Now, I know a lot of people complain that when they're arguing with their girlfriends and their boyfriends, they're always bringing up stuff from the past. It's because you talked about it, but you didn't solve the problem, or you talked about it, you thought you solved it, but you didn't get rid of the people or the things that were causing the problem. And if it's one of those problems that will never go away, then you're out of luck because of that disrespect you're feeling. We think we can make it work as long as we ignore that problem, but if that problem is bothering you, you can't ignore it for the rest of your relationship. Now, I don't know about you, but when I get into relationships, it's with the hopes of one day building a family with this person, like, you know, starting something with this person. So you can't drag the mess from a messy relationship into a marriage and expect it to work. You know, you can't have a messy relationship, drag it into a situationship, hoping to go back into a relationship and marry this person. Like, you can't do that, because if there's mess at the beginning, there's gonna be mess at the end, and you think you could clean it up, but it's not gonna work. We stay in these relationships and situationships because we hate the feeling that we wasted mad time with these people. When you invest your time, your body, your soul, your everything into this one person, to know that it was all in vain, it's stressful. So you keep trying and trying to make it work with this person. You might not love this person anymore. You might not even like the person for the most part, but you still care, of course, about the person. And because you invested so much energy into this person, you are trying your best to drag it out and make it work, but you're trying to build on a weak, messy foundation. You feel this attachment to the person, but a lot of the time you don't really love the person. You're not really in love with the person, but you're attached to them because nobody likes to feel wrong. Nobody likes to feel like what their mama said was right. You know, nobody likes admitting that they were wrong and that their relationship wasn't meant to be in the first place. So you're gonna try, and you're gonna keep on trying to make it work. You're gonna keep putting more energy into this ball of wasted energy, thinking that something's gonna come together, but it's not. Ultimately, you're putting so much time into this person and energy into this person, and when you come back, when you realize that it was all in vain, you kind of want to make it work. So all I'm saying is, if you're unhappy in a situationship, don't expect to be in a happy relationship from that. If you feel as though you're not being satisfied with the crumbs of love that you're being given, then leave, because you can't be full on crumbs. You can't be full off of nothing. And if you want to be fulfilled, well, of course, it's a self thing. Moving on is the part that I guess I haven't mastered yet. Now, 28 seasons is 7 years. And I guess at the end, you just have to balance if being unhappy is worth this person's company. And when you realize that it's not, you kind of come to a peace with yourself. It's like, I love you, but I love me more. And the problem, I think, is when you stay in these relationships is you love the person more than you love yourself. And it's true, because I've been in a situation where I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, if someone came, and I told the person, I was like, if someone came, put a gun to my head and said the only way you could survive was if I killed myself or if I died, I would do that for you. And the person couldn't say the same thing. And I'm not even mad, because I realized that's crazy. Like, of course you would sacrifice your life for someone that you love. But it was more of obsession with the small bits of love this person had for me than a true love where you can grow together. It was one-sided. And as much as they like to say otherwise, it was one-sided. You just really have to put yourself in a mindset where it's like, I love you, but I love me more. And that's the only way that we can work together, is if I wholeheartedly love myself, you wholeheartedly love yourself, and then we can love each other wholeheartedly, and it could work. But otherwise, it can't work. So a lot of the times we're lonely, we're bored, we want to get into these relationships, but for no reason, because we still haven't worked on ourselves. And I didn't get it before, how I was like, I could kind of not love myself and still love someone else, but it's not true. You can't truly love someone until you've worked on yourself. You have to love yourself enough to love someone else. Because when you do get into relationships in which you don't love yourself, it's messy. It is. You get hurt. You hurt yourself. You start to accept things. You start to accept, you start to accept shit from people. You start to accept real shit, like bullshit from people when you don't love yourself. Like I'm talking about that, a bull duty. You start, oh well, you know, it was just a kiss. Okay. You know, you start to accept being disrespected from foolish people when you don't love yourself in a relationship, and that's not right. So what I'm saying is learn to love yourself, and until you fully, truly, honestly love yourself, then you will have a successful relationship. And you can't start the loving oneself process while in a relationship with someone, because it just causes problems, or they see you starting to love yourself more and they don't like it, so they continue to break you down until you become, you know, the person that takes their shit again. Anyway, I'm gonna stop before I get too heated, before this video gets too long, but all I'm saying is situationships, get rid of them. If he doesn't respect you enough to be in a relationship with you, to honor you, to say your name on mountaintops, mention it to your friends, even take pictures with you. If he doesn't respect you enough to do that, he or she doesn't respect you enough to do that, then know that your relationship isn't going anywhere. Don't think a situationship is going to be more successful than a relationship. Don't accept crumbs from people. Don't take that half-hearted love from people. 28 seasons, 7 years. Don't do that to yourself. Learn to love yourself wholeheartedly, and then when you do that, you will truly find someone that can love you just the same, and you can live happily ever after. Now, I'm gonna tell you when I meant happily ever after, but until then, later.